What's good, party people? This is Voodoo in the Woods. He is former U of MMA champion Pius Lobo, better known as Voodoo Maximus.
And he is the one and only, the infamous, according to Woods, 8-a-day Woods, all day, every day.
It's something.
Go.
It's definitely something. But speaking of days, you know what today is?
Today is Thursday.
It's 3/16. Oh,
yeah. yeah. That's right.
I'm just so happy 3/16 day, everyone.
All day.
And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold says so.
That's right.
Hell yes. Now that we got that out of the way, but UFC 286 is upon us. It's emanating from London, England. As I was talking to Voodoo halfway through the what is it, the countdown show? I was like, "Where the fuck is everybody in England? What the fuck is everybody doing?" And then, because I'm just so used to it all being in Vegas, right? I'm just saying. But speaking of fights that happen in Vegas, the last time that we got together, I messed up because there was a UFC fight night just last week. I didn't realize it was 1 o'clock the morning after what we were supposed to do this show. And I was like, oh, fuck. So my bad. That was all me. But one guy that is, to me, stirred a little bit of controversy. Is a guy that I refer to as Druckus de Pluckus. De Placis or whatever the fuck. But he said something after his fight, the post-fight press conference, and he fucking cut a promo on all the African champions, namely Ngannou, Adesanya, Usman, and he was basically saying, hey, everybody else, fucking Francis goes back to Vegas, Usman goes back to damn Florida and or Colorado, right? And Adesanya is in New Zealand, right? But I'm the only one that goes back. Sorry. I'm the only one that goes back to actual Africa, right? I train in Africa. I spend my time in Africa. I get ready in Africa, and everybody wants to go this the African wave, but I'm it. Obviously, he's South African,
right?
Afrikaner, you want to say?
Afrikaan. He's an Afrikaan.
Absolutely, and
see, everything he said is true. They do go back to these places that he said they go to, but he's leaving out that his folks got all the resources. He left that part out.
Yeah.
He left that part out, that they got all the resources. So these other guys that he's talking about, they got to go somewhere else to get the resources that he has at home. He left that part out. Huh? He want to start talking smack? Why don't you go do something? Go win a title for Africa before you start calling people out. That's already done it, been there, done that. That's already put Africa on the map. You know what I'm saying? Hey, to be quite honest, you're a guest in Africa. Since you want to put it like that, you're a guest in Africa. You ain't even real African. You came there and you stole it. And that's the truth. That's the truth. You ain't even real African. So what is it that you're trying to say? What, you trying to call them fake Africans? Is that what you're trying to say? Huh? Duplessis? Duplessis? Aren't you French or something like that? With a name like that, Duplessis? Huh? Adesanya. Ngannou. That's African. And that's all I got to say about that.
All I have to say is fuck Druckus de Pluckus.
Duplessis? Duplessis? Ain't that French?
Yeah.
Something like that? So what's he talking about?
Druckus de Pluckus.
Hey, he better pick his battles, man. Because He don't want to hear an earful.
Yeah, he's on my list of what is it? What's his face? Pistorius, He's a dumbass motherfucker.
That's right.
They the same. They the same. I'm sorry, fucking get the whole fuck out of here with all that.
The ignorance always sneaks out, man.
I mean, where's homeboy? Sugar Man, dude. Fucking play some Sugar Man records and see what the fuck is up, bro. You know that shit, right? Sugar Man?
Who's that guy?
So basically he was just like a fucking bricklayer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember, but here in the US, right? And essentially what ended up happening is he makes this record. It's like weird, just folk record in like the 60s and shit like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't hit in America, whatever. But somehow, some way, basically, it makes its way over to Africa, and like the whole album and who this person is and whatever becomes a folk hero for the anti-apartheid movement, right? And the wildest of stories, because again he only cut like 1 or 2 albums or whatever, right? And like what happened to Sugar Man? What happened to Sugar Man? What the fuck is he, whatever? And homeboy totally unaware, like he's just like a random bricklayer. And not to say that there's not, if you live in a house, you need bricklayers. So like we're not trying to get it twisted, like it's low or whatever. But again, he's the voice of a fucking generation, like a Joni Mitchell or James Taylor fucking type here, but in Africa. Like that fucking shit about David Hasselhoff, fucking singing as the fucking Berlin Wall's coming down. That motherfucker is that. David Hasselhoff went on to be fucking on Baywatch, right? Homeboy Sugar Man, just a carpenter, man. Like so, just saying. So I mean, yeah, fucking. Well, Pistorius is probably getting reamed, as well he should. And I'm gonna say Druckus the Pluck is, could go right there with him.
He can go join them, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And ironically, I was rooting for this dude, man. I was rooting for this dude.
I know you were.
I was rooting for this dude, claimed him as one of ours, and then look how he said, "Hey man, just stab you in the back." You know what I mean?
Bro,
bastard.
You remember that Chris Rock bit in what is it, Bigger and Blacker? The old school Chris Rock, not the fucking I got slapped the shit by Will Smith. Like old school fucking no sex in the champagne room, Chris Rock. And he was like, when he was talking about the fucking how everybody came together after 9/11 and all that shit. Like to me, like what formed my idea of shit is like 2 specials, right? At post 9/11. It was Chris Rock's and George Carlin. And that's my North Star, So with that all being said, the Patriots, right? America, I'm American. Fuck those whatever, right? And go down the ethnic group and fucking he's pining at the bit as they go down the list. American, fuck those, and then whatever. And then at the end of the list, we're slipping it in there. I'm American, fuck those N-words. Right? So
that's pretty much what he was doing.
Right.
I'm African.
Yeah, so but that's what I'm saying. That's you remember right from the start, Druckus the Pluckus. Because I knew that shit. I wasn't even giving him the benefit of the doubt, So I'm just too much.
You smell the rat. You smell the 100%.
Rat. And again, I come. It's not so. African origin on one side and Fijian on the other. Both my people got colonized. So just saying, so Druckus the Pluckus, you can go fuck us. Not us, but somebody else.
Right? He go fuck himself.
Yeah, 100%. Or hit up the fucking the Blade Runner fucker.
Some
Y'all,
bitch.
yeah, no, 100%. I mean, in Fijian, we have this thing called, well, a saying. It's dobikata. You know what dobikata is? Y'all can bite each other. So dobikata, fuckers. Just saying. But in other news, we have a tremendous UFC 286 card, and this one's headlined by, I mean, actually right off the bat, man, this is a powder keg because we have the 6-4-1 Veronica Hardy going up against the former California uh, state champion in Juliana Killer Miller. Obviously, Juliana Miller made her kind of worldwide debut. Obviously, in the one of the most recent seasons of the Ultimate Fighter, but
Ultimate Fighter winner.
yeah, did she win it?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
then even more so. Hell yes. So I'm not even gonna fucking waste my time. No disrespect to Veronica, but this is home team. I was there when fucking Juliana won the California state title in San Diego at Epic Fighting. So that's home team for me. Shout out to Juliana Miller. I will say that Veronica Hardy does have. I mean, she beat Polyana Viana, right? But when it comes to the tippy top of competition, especially alumnus of Invicta in Andrea KGB Lee, Julian Robertson, she kind of fell short. She was supposed to have a fight with another Invicta alumnus and Rachel Ostovich. Didn't happen. It looks like she's just the queen of canceled fights. Her UFC debut actually comes at a loss at the hands of a good friend, Ashley Evans Smith, Rebel Girl. Shout out to the Sex and Violence with Rebel Girl podcast. But yeah, man, I'm going Juliana Miller.
I'm also going Juliana Miller, simply because she knows how to weaponize grappling. Uh, uh, and this Veronica Hardy, when you look at her record, she loses to stranglers. This Juliana Miller is not only a strangler, but she also knows how to weaponize pace. And that is going to be her key to victory. I see a win in the second round, submission.
Hell yes. Hell yes. So we're moving on, right? In the second fight of the UFC 286 card, we've got Ludwig Klein, 19-4, a tenured young veteran, going up against the former Cage Warriors champion in the Black Country Ranger, Jai Herbert. And Jai Herbert, I mean, he's, fighting in his own country. Both of them have European origins, but I mean, it's one thing to be from Europe versus you're fighting in London, England, and you're from England, right? But again, Mr. Highlight, he's got an impressive record, right? Obviously not household names in terms of the people that he's beat, but Jai Herbert, to his credit, went on a 2-fight win streak. Well, let's see. I mean, he's the king of 2-fight win streaks. That comes starts in 2017, rides that, loses to Aiden Lee, then wins another 2, council bouts, wins another 2 the next year, wins 4, loses 2, and then he's on a 2-fight winning streak, and those coming by way of Mason Jones and Devontae Smith, both of those decision victories, right? I'm gonna go with fucking Black Country Ranger, man.
Is that Jai Herbert?
Yes, it is.
Okay, okay. I you know what? I can split you on that. I'll go Klein. I'll go Klein. No problem.
Okay. Just one name that, I mean, you got to remember, right? So a raucous English crowd, right? That's one of the reasons why Mania Week, the Raw after Mania, for the last decade has been so fucking off the chain, right? Is because you got them European fans in town, and they fucking, you can't tell them who to cheer for, who to boo. They just do their own fucking thing, right? So being at the epicenter in London, England, right, as a Cage Warriors, former Cage Warriors champion, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the shit that went on with Patty and Cage War, the manager that also owns
Mm-hmm.
Cage Warriors and
Mm-hmm.
all that shit, whatever. We might villainize here in the U.S., right? But it might be beloved there in the UK. So shit get crazy. So I'm not gonna go up against a countryman in his own country. So I'm gonna go fucking Jai Herbert.
Yeah, man. Um, you make a very good point, but the pressure's on Jai Herbert. He's got to go. He's at home and he's got to impress. So will he be able to take the magnitude of the UFC uh, uh, magnetism? Will he be able to handle that? Those bright lights at home on the biggest stage against Klein, who is way more experienced. So we will see. We will see.
We shall see. We shall see. But speaking of things that we're going to see another UFC Ultimate Fighter alumnus in Joanne, formerly Calderwood, now Wood,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
15-8, going up against, and Joanne is Scottish by
Mm-hmm.
origins, and she's going
Mm-hmm.
up against a Brazilian in Luana Carolina. Let's look at Carolina first. 8-3
Mm-hmm.
is Dread. Now she has some notable wins. Those obviously Priscilla Cachoeira, Poliana Botello, uh, fuck Lupita Godinez, former LFA strawweight champion, right? That's a big
Mm-hmm.
win.
Mm-hmm.
But then she loses to Meatball Molly with a spinning back fist. So that's kind of questionable. But obviously, Meatball Molly, I'm not saying that she's riding the Patty Pimblett train, but they're
Mm-hmm.
very close. I would actually say that at this juncture in their respective careers, if you're
Mm-hmm.
looking at them as a twofer, right? A 2-for-1, I would actually say Meatball Molly is a little bit more skilled than one Patty Pimblett at this stage.
Well, when
That's
we're
that's
talking,
that's not saying much,
yeah, when we're talking striking, I agree with you when
right?
we're talking striking. But on the ground, Pimblett, even though I'm not really into his style, I gotta give him that ground game. His ground game is solid.
You
But
remember
his striking suspect.
you remember Ryan Hall?
Yes.
The complete opposite, right? I mean, like fucking subpar striking jiu-jitsu ace, right? And he
Mm-hmm.
was fucking 50-50 in motherfuckers all day, every day. Why can't I get a fight? Why didn't I get a fight, right? And he's doing that, right up until he
Mm-hmm.
fucking gets that fucking chin tap. We ain't seen him fucking since. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's how it goes sometimes,
Yeah.
man.
So, um, so in terms of Joanne Wood, we mentioned that she's a alumnus of the Ultimate Fighter.
Mm-hmm.
She is the wife of John Wood,
Mm-hmm.
obviously Syndicate MMA, right? Famed. Uh, I mean, literally a gym of champions, right? But
Yep.
she's actually on a 3-fight losing streak. That goes by way of Lauren Lucky Murphy, Talia Santos, now UFC champion Alexa Grasso, right? That's not a bad win
Mm-mm.
theoretically,
Nah, not
right?
a bad. Good people to lose to. Makes
Yeah,
sense.
but then when you look deeper in her record, right? Her last win comes by way of Jessica Evil Eye, right? Before that, I mean, she got pieced up by Jennifer Maya, right? And then she beats Andrea KGB Lee, but also
Mm-hmm.
at that point in KGB Lee's, um, in her career, it wasn't great.
Mm-hmm.
That's right around the time that the husband, gets called on the carpet for saying some racist shit and whatever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that wasn't the best KGB Lee that Joanne would have faced, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because look at all the other kind of notable talent, right? Caitlin Chikugian, she
Mm-hmm.
gets beat, loses to Cynthia Calvillo, Jessica Andrade. Yes, a former champion, but still, when she gets up to the tippy top of the division, she kind of falters, right? So I'm actually going to take everything that I said about Jai Herbert. I'm going to reverse Joanne Wood, and that's what I'm going to say. And shout out, we were just talking about Juliana Miller. Harvey,
Harvey.
absolutely. The booker of both Safanov as well as Epic Fighting.
That's
We
right.
plugged you pretty hard, good brother. Glad to see you with us. Yeah, so I mean, and this is a card that a lot of there's quite a few people that Harvey's matched for Epic Fighting or Tough Enough that are making the international jaunts over to the UK. So shout out to Harvey for making that all
That's right.
happen.
That's right.
Yeah.
Harvey. Good to
Thank
see
you
you,
for all you
brother.
do, brother. Hell
That's
yes.
right, man. Keep kicking ass.
Yes. So so Carolina or Wood.
Carolina, she has no clinch game, no ground game. I'm not. She can strike. Yes, she can move. She can strike. I'm not all sold on her yet. I think Joanna has enough wisdom, IQ, fight IQ to take this particular match and take it away from Luana Carolina. So I'm going Joanna Woods on this one, and it's not gonna be pretty, but she can win by split decision or submission.
Yeah. I don't expect a lot. And I don't want to bring any like personal stuff, right? But I mean, obviously, she is married to John Wood of Syndicate,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
But so he's coached so many people, right, to title contention and title victories, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, at the stage of Joanne Calderwood's career, I don't think her body can handle all of the master plan, right? Let's say if John Jones had been in wars and shit like that, and you've got Greg Jackson, right? You've got any great mastermind behind in your corner, right? But you don't have the player to facilitate the moves and the strategy that the fucking player is implementing, right? Well, that the general is basically tasking out. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's the case here. I
Mm-hmm.
could be wrong, and that's
Mm-hmm.
nothing against John Wood or Joanne Wood. I'm a fan of both of them. But I don't, yeah, I mean, are we going to see JoJo in a UFC title contention fight? I don't think that is. If we would have, that would have happened 3 to 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm. All valid points. All valid points. But I'm not sold on this Carolina yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got to do some more to impress me, man.
Yeah. No, I think so too. I think so too. I'm not saying that Carolina's a world beater, but
Mhm.
I don't know. To me, I think that she just has Joanne Wood on this day.
Okay.
Could be
Okay.
crazy. Could be crazy.
Saturday is around the corner.
There it is.
What's
Yeah.
up, Alex?
What's up, Alex? Happy 316 day to you.
Yeah.
He was actually at El Segundo Brewery, drinking beers with the man himself, Stone
Oh
Cold Steve
shit.
Austin,
That's
on 316 day.
that's what's up.
Yeah.
What was you guys talking about?
Uh I don't. I think it was a meet and greet, but I mean, El Segundo does the, the Broken Skull IPAs, and lagers. So
Mm.
yeah, there you go.
Mm.
Hell yes. So he has a question. You think Brock comes out for a payday with Jones if Jones beats Stipe and Brock is on his way out?
Okay. So the question is, how bad does Brock want to get hurt? That's the question Brock needs to answer. If Brock wants to come back to get hurt really, really bad, because it's gonna be bad for some money, even though he's got a lot of money already, if he wants to come get hurt and get put out to pasture, then come on back. I don't think he's coming back to fight Jones. That'll be the wrong person for him to fight. You know what I mean? First of all, what kind of cardio does he have? his only asset, which is the wrestling. Jones is good at that too. You know what I mean? So he won't make it out of the third round. He
You
won't
know
make
what?
it out the third round.
There's one thing that that would be true if some, I don't want to say dark forces, but other forces aren't coming into play. So if a proposed, I mean, and not to overlook Stipe, but also Stipe, his cognitive ability or his speaking doesn't really lend itself like he's gonna be able to be the one to beat Jones, right? But where has Brock Lesnar gone internationally?
He went to the WWE.
But where has the WWE gone?
They've been to Abu Dhabi. They've been everywhere.
They've been to Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
So if John Jones versus Brock happens, it's gonna be in Saudi Arabia.
Okay, if Brock wants to go to Saudi Arabia to die, he can go there to die.
Okay.
They'll fly him home on the plane.
You know, fucking Bob Sapp.
You
remember Bob Sapp?
Yeah.
Brock doesn't care about legacy. He wants a payday. That's very reminiscent of fucking Bob Sapp, right?
Okay.
So if he fucking, that's cool. It's cool. And they ain't nobody gonna be talking about fucking picograms and shit like that. Look at
let's go.
You look at fucking Brock against Mark Hunt, right? UFC 200. That motherfucker looked like Goro. His abs looked like fucking two other fucking hands. So I'm just saying.
So Brock needs to understand. Brock, hey man, hey. That's what's up, Alex. That's what's up. Let me get this dude. I'm about to get him. Let me get this dude. Hey, Brock needs to understand that he's going up against the biggest wingspan in sports. The biggest wingspan in sport. Hey man, hey. Brock about to have John Jones looking like Floyd Mayweather up in there. It's gonna be too easy. It's gonna be too easy. Okay. Way too easy. What is he gonna shoot? He's gonna shoot and try and take him down. I guarantee you, Brock won't get one takedown. He's not fast enough. He's a big dude. He moves pretty well for a big dude, but he won't get a takedown, and he's gonna get his ass whooped. If he doesn't get his obliques kicked out, you know what I mean? He's gonna get hurt bad, man.
That's fine.
It's not good.
That's fine. It's all fine, right? Again, and it's all fine, right? Those are words spoken by Bob Sapp. Go back to the Talking Shop, the Good Brothers fucking podcast when they had Bob Sapp on before they went back to the WWE. No, that motherfucker, his last 8 fights, he fucking got touched or made it past the second round, he tapped. On the advertisement is Jones versus Lesnar. Doesn't say an outcome.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
Right? And won't you know who won the pony? Fuck, in Abu Dhabi, you really fucking think of what Collision in Korea, the WCW fucking shit in North Korea and whatever the fuck. You don't think of Victor Jovica and Ric Flair in Puerto Rico, right? And Jovica was supposed to be a job guy, right? When Rick basically saw that they're ready to kill him, right? He fucking puts Jovica on top of him and fucking wins the fucking world title. This job guy in Puerto Rico. I'm just saying, right?
It sure will sell a lot of pay-per-views, but people will be watching a funeral.
Okay, did anybody see Connor on fucking Era Hawani? The unedited version?
Yeah.
Yeah. He fucking called out USADA.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. There ain't no fucking picograms. Jeff Nowitzki, he's fucking getting the fuck out of here. Ain't no golden switch. All it is golden fucking taps. Brock, that shit's gonna be 42 seconds, and they all gonna both make more money than Scrooge McDuck can shit. I'm just saying. That's what's happening. So book it.
Hey.
Fucking give Prince Solomon or whatever the fuck. Book it.
Hey, the initiated minds know it won't be for a real fight. It will be for a money grab. So if it's a money grab, let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Yep, there you go. USADA about to be dropped from the UFC now that Connor's returning. Just
Uh-oh.
saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Change of shit has happened. Like you're thinking about technique, and I love you. That's why you have the insight that I don't, right?
Yeah. Hey, every now and then we gotta remind ourselves it's
Go
it's sports entertainment.
100%.
In the end,
100%. And
it's
again,
sports
like I said,
entertainment.
look at Bob Sapp's last 8 fights,
Mm-hmm.
and then look how long they lasted and how much he got paid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just
That's
saying.
true.
And Brock's
Yeah,
got a great relationship with the Saudis because
True.
he got the fuck out with Vince McMahon and the rest of them, while the whole 70% of the roster got to stay on the tarmac for 36 hours, shitting themselves. Just saying. Just saying. Picogram's getting the fuck out of here. Everybody's sorry.
Hey, Connor
ain't gonna be there. Fuck no.
Connor will be back late summer. He says he'll be back in late summer.
I mean, stranger shit has happened. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, let's go.
Shit. Vince McMahon is back in the WWE. Nobody.
Connor versus Nate Diaz. It ain't gonna be no Chandler.
Chandler
ain't getting that fight.
What is it? Fucking Dana White slapped the shit out of each other at university. Still going on after he then slapped his wife.
We're going to Abu Dhabi Fight Island. Let's go.
You can go. I think I might have talked too much shit, so I'm just saying I don't want to get beheaded. So I'm good. Thank you, Saudis. I mean, if you want to sponsor the podcast, man, I'm just saying,
we'll take it.
Well, yes. Watch us be like Michael Cole. This beautiful country of Saudi Arabia. Fucking, but Rogan's ass ain't there. I'm just saying. Read the tea leaves, folks. I'm just saying. Rogan can hunt, eat venison, deer meat, and all that shit. He's like, I ain't going to fuck to Saudi Arabia.
Oh, no, I'm not.
Hell
no, I'm not.
Hell no, I won't go.
You can keep your desert.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
No, thank you.
You don't talk too much shit. I'm just saying. So, anyway, speaking of talking shit, we got the Canadian versus the Brit. We got Malcolm Flash Gordon, 14-6, going up against the 9-1 Jake Hadley. Let's talk about Flash. Oh, actually, Malcolm X Gordon. I confused him with the other Gordon, who's also named Flash. But yeah, well, lost to Mohamed Mokaev, right?
Good loss.
Beat the brother of the champ, Francisco Figueiredo, right? Yeah, I mean that's kind of it. Has been in there, but lost against Sumar Doreji, right? Asmi Viducci, right? And then Amir Albazi, right? So he's got a close to 50-50 UFC record, right? But let's float over to I think
Hadley.
My pick.
Jack Hadley. White Kong.
Dude, so White Kong could be fucking the same ideology as fucking Druckus the Pluckus. But anyway,
we're about to find out.
Yeah, I'm actually going for it, man.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I got White Kong as well.
Yeah, let's just move.
I mean, the bottom line is he's young, he's up and coming. He's good for the London market, and he's got a very good record, 9-1, not bad at all, not bad at all. Let's throw him in there against the veteran, youth versus wisdom. Let's see what prevails.
They're gonna build him up.
I got youth.
Yeah, they're gonna build him up a little bit, so I get it. So in the next fight, we've got Christian Leroy Duncan, a perfect 7-0, going up a tenured young veteran in Dusko Tudorovic. Tudorovic, 12-3. Let's look at his Thunder's notable wins, right? And I know he's got some. Jordan Wright, right? Beverly Hills Ninja. Maki Pitolo, right? Coconut Bombs, right? But lost to Sunayele Soriano, right? But beat Dequan Thompson. And you guys remember, like at the beginning of the fucking, pandemic era UFC, Dequan Townsend was making great moves, man. I mean, right now he's still fucking 9-0, right? But Tudorovic lost to fucking RoboCop Gregory Rodriguez and Chitty Bang Nukojani. So even still, like, I know we don't go too much against undefeated, but I feel like, I mean, Tudorovic has some great experience, right? And 7-0, and being a UK alumnus, and I mean, a resident, right? This is his UFC debut. Man, if he can beat, Dusko, he's well on his way, especially, in that crowd. I envision like them hoisting him up like fucking Brazil did Aldo after he fucking, kneed the shit out of whoever the fuck he did and ran out the cage and fucking, that iconic imagery, right? So I'm not counting Christian Leroy Duncan out, but I do have Dusko. I do have Dusko.
Okay.
But it's a big test for Leroy.
Yeah, this was a strategic matchup. They know Dusko likes to stand, so they put Christian against someone who likes to stand. Christian, he shines on his feet. He's got very good kickboxing. He spins really well. Dusko's is more of a traditional, almost Muay Thai, but not really. He's more flat-footed. Let's put it that way. I can split you on this one, man. I think it's a safe bet. I'll go Duncan on this one.
Okay, I like it. It. Man, I just kind of floated up, higher on the card. Oh, there's one for sure. He's got my pick for fight of the night, like low key, but we'll reveal it when we get to it. But as we head to it, we've got the 11-3 Omar Morales against the 9-1 Chris Duncan. Now Omar has more fight experience.
Oh wait, hang on.
As a Venezuelan fighter, right?
What about Laurent Murphy and Gabriel Santos?
Oh fuck! I did skip over that. My bad. All right, we'll come back.
That's all good.
All right. So we got Laurent Murphy. See, I told you I scrolled up. Anyway, so we've got 11-0-1 Laurent Murphy going up against the 10-0 Gabriel Santos. Now, Mosaquinito, Jesus Christ, that was bad. That was a bad pronunciation. I'm sorry, Gabriel. But it's something in Portuguese, right? I don't get it, but shout out to the Portuguese, right? An LFA veteran, right? Prior to LFA, he basically fought the Brazilian regional scene. That's how he gets to his perfect record, right? But on the other side, we have the equally impressive Laurent Murphy. And aside from a draw, he's undefeated, right? And that's saying something. But he has a win over Mr. Finland, Macron Americani, Douglas Silva Andrade, Hikaru Ramos. That's my favorite fucking name to say. Hikaru Ramos. Yeah, hell yeah. Give me all of that all day.
Let's go.
It feels like fucking, what is it? Like turmeric. When you drink turmeric. Yes. Hikaru Ramos. Hell yes. So Laurent Murphy, to me, has a better record.
Yes.
That's why I'm going with him. Fuck it.
Okay. Laurent Murphy, I'm not 100% sold on his ground game. Gabriel Santos is a complete fighter. Yes, he doesn't have much UFC experience, but I don't know. He can strike well, and he can submit well. He's been the distance several times, but the only thing is the level of competition. He is the balanced fighter. To bet on him will be really taking a big risk. So I am going to take that risk. So I'll split you. I'll split you 50-50. I'll go Gabriel Santos on this one.
All right. I like it. I fucking like it. Hell yes. And you made very good points. And somebody's got to, someone's got to lose, right?
Someone's got to.
Right.
Yeah.
So I love it. This is, a fight promoter's dream in terms of, booking, matchmaking, and promoting the fuck out of this. So,
That's right.
hell yes. All right. So, as we're moving on, we've got Mohammed Mokayev. We had just
I got Mohammed.
Gentleman, right?
I got Mohammed.
8-0, right? Going up against Jafel Filio, right? Now, Filio, 14-2. Pastor. I don't know if he's a pastor or likes pastor tacos. I don't even know if it's pronounced that way down in Brazil. But yeah, well, he basically blast into international fame by way of beating Robert Echeverria on Dana White's Contender Series just in September last year, right? Where he, left KO'd Robert, right? But prior to that, he, fought in Chuto, Brazil. Pretty much the Brazilian regional scene is where he kind of fills out his fight experience pre-UFC, right? So that's amazing. Now, on the other side, Muhammad Mokayev, to me, the Punisher has a lot more UFC experience, right? Look at this. Cody Durden, Charles Johnson, Malcolm Gordon, all UFC veterans. And then even before the UFC, he fought a large part of his career in Brave FC or a Brave Combat Federation, CF, right?
Incredible.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the Roaring Lion, Carlos Kramer, who's the cage side announcer over there. Speaking of Epic and Harvey, Roaring Lion Carlos Kramer is also the voice of Epic Fighting. So there you go. Man, California fight scene. I just love it. So I'm actually going to go with Mokayev. He just has a lot of better, bigger fight experience, and he's based in the UK.
In addition to the bigger fight experience, he's got 23 undefeated amateur fights. So the boy's got experience. Don't sleep on the 9-0. Don't sleep on that at all. He's coming through with some of that Dagestani wrestling, and he's coming to whoop ass. You know what I mean? So Mohammed Mokayev, he's gonna make an example. This is a classic jiu-jitsu versus wrestling type thing. And you know how these Dagestani folks feel about jiu-jitsu. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
Hell yes. I mean, I dig it. There's, I do love those, striker versus grappler, fights and matchups because it harkens back to what the UFC was initially, right? Historics. So I'm not mad at it. Just it's a throwback to an era gone by. So I dig it. So I got Mokayev, right?
Likewise.
Hell yes. So as we move on, we have the 10-1-1, the future Sam Patterson, going up against the undefeated Yanal Ashmos, right? Who's 6-0.
Red Fox.
Let's go with yes. Let's go with Red Fox. I just said that out loud, and I thought of Fred Sanford. He couldn't be more diametrically different than Fred Sanford. But yeah, well, actually, do you know my favorite Red Fox joke? I heard it when I was a kid, and Red was on Johnny Carson, right?
Okay.
And Ed McMahon is sitting next to whoever the guest is and shit like that, right? And Red Fox comes out and he has this fucking drawn out look on his face, right? And Johnny goes, "Ah, Red, what's going on? What's going on?" It's like, "I gotta be real with you, Johnny. Went to the doctor. He told me I got something." It's like, oh, and then the look of concern on both Johnny and Ed McMahon's face, and like, oh, well, what could it be? It's like, well, my doctor said I had Zachary disease. Like, oh, that sounds bad. Sounds horrible. But I've never heard of it. It's like, that's when your breath smells exactly like your ass.
Yeah.
I saw that. I think I was like 4 years old. I was howling laughing. It's one of my favorite fucking jokes ever. Red Fox is one of my favorite comedians ever. But yeah, that's some gold shit right there. So Ashmoz is not Red Fox. So, but what he is undefeated. He's fought at Ring of
For
Combat.
now.
Amazing, I believe, Canadian regional promotion. Shout out to Ring of Combat. Oh, actually, this particular one was in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Still, fucking, you're fighting in New Jersey. That's not bad, right? And then keeping that East Coast tradition alive, he fights at CFFC, Cage Fury Fighting Championship. John Morgan and CM Punk commentate for CFFC. So there's that.
Okay.
And then keeping with the wrestling kind of synergy, fights for PFL Challenger Series, and PFL might have the ring announcer named Lillian Garcia, who's formerly of the WWE.
That's right.
I'm just saying. But I say all that to say, Sam Patterson, 10-1-1. Doesn't matter what his record is. He's British. The fucking, who is it? I can't remember what fight it was or whatever, but like somebody got pulled. He was a British fighter, and they had one of the first UFCs in Britain, and homeboy beat the shit out of somebody that was supposed to beat the brakes off of him, right? Because the British fan base just willed their guy to victory, and homeboy, that was the best it got for him, because he got retired not too long after, right? And got into shit. So, anywho, I say all that to say, I got Sam the Future Patterson.
I got Sam the Future Patterson as well, simply because he has been tested. He's been the Brave several times, and he's still undefeated in Brave. So for him and he's number 3 light heavyweight in the Middle East, while his opponent Yanal is 35. So the skill speaks for itself. He's the taller man. He's about 6'3", going up against a 5'9" dude. It's gonna be a striking match. Yanal will be shooting for his life after he's getting his ass whooped. But I trust Sam has been in there with some good enough opposition that has tried to take him down, and he's managed to stay on his feet. So I'm going with Sam Patterson, KO in the second round.
Oh, yes. So that's a consensus pick for all those keeping score. And so we've got that. Now, I mean, I guess I kind of jumped the gun on this one, but we've got, again, the Venezuelan fighter, 11-3, Omar Morales, going up against the Scottish Chris Duncan. The Problem, not to be confused with the Problem Marina Shafir. Oh my God! There's a promo that I want to show you about Maria Shafir. It's something. It's definitely something. But in any event, Chris Duncan, he's actually on a 2-fight winning streak. Only one of those takes place on the Octagon. That happens at Dana White Contender Series, but he fucking TKO'd Charlie Campbell. So that's cool. Not cool for Charlie Campbell, but definitely cool for Chris Duncan, right? On the other side, Omar Morales. Omar has fought essentially in the UFC since 2019. Couldn't couldn't pick him out of a lineup. And his record, right? He's on a 2-fight losing streak. Before that, he beat a Shane Young who trains with Israel Adesanya. Lost to Giga Chikadze. That's what I'm going with. Yeah, so I actually got I got the problem.
I got the problem as well, man. Because I don't want no problem. You know what I mean? I don't want no problem. So I got the problem as well. The problem, he's an all or nothing type dude. He's gonna bring the heat. He's gonna bring the heat, and he's close to home. You know, so he's gonna bring it. I have no problem going with the problem as well, despite him being number 181 in the world, and Omar is 88. Omar is 88 for now. He's 88 for now. By Sunday, Chris will be at 88, while Omar goes down to 89 or wherever he's going.
Okay, just remind me to send you that Marina Shafir promo.
All right.
You're familiar with Marina Shafir, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's gold. It's so gold. So we've got, to me, I think this one is going to be one of my picks for fight of the night. Definitely fight of the undercard. But we've got Jack Shore, 16-1 against Mr. Finland. We talked about him, Makwan Amirkhani, right? Who's 17-8. Mr. Finland, geez, I love looking at his fucking Tapology picture. As that dude is just like, he's living the gimmick. He's living the fucking gimmick, right? But unfortunately, one of the gimmick can't get you sailing to victories in the UFC because he has been all over the place in terms of his win-loss record in the UFC. Obviously, the UFC sees something in him because he's been in the UFC since 2015, right? But not any names, right? The closest name that he had was Chris Fishgold, but you have to be a hardcore to kind of realize that because that was the guy who Paul Felder ended up cornering. Yeah, in Abu Dhabi, right? And he was a commentator, jumped into corner homeboy, and then came back to commentary, right? So
all his people had COVID,
right? 100%. Now, in terms of the people he's lost to, then it gets a little bit more notable, right? Shane Burgos, but again, you have to be a hardcore to know who Shane Burgos is, and you might not know him by name, but you know that fucking head kick against Terry Edom, that being Edson Barbosa, right? So, yeah.
Never to return after that kick.
Never. Yeah, so he beat the brakes off of Terry Edom, CTE everywhere, right? So that's Amirkhani, but Jack Shore, the Welshman, and I think Tank Jack Shore, a former Cage Warriors champion, that's going to be my fucking pick, man.
Me too, man.
I mean, especially if that motherfucker comes out to some Bonnie Tyler or some fucking what's the other one? Tom Jones, right? And getting Catherine Zeta-Jones fucking walking into the ring and shit like that, into the cage. He's gonna be all washed out all the time, what have you. So I got Jack Shore.
I got Jack Shore.
Says, baby, Voodoo New Glasses.
Yeah, and man.
How good is Tim? This is you.
Yeah. Tim's about to get his ass whooped.
Yeah, okay, we'll get to that. But you got Jack Shore too?
I got Jack Shore, man. Hey, yeah. Jack Shore is a big he's a blue chip in Europe. He's known. He's got a big following. Of course, Marwan is a good fighter, but they brought him in to lose. And he will lose. This is going to be a stand-up match. It's going to be very exciting. It's going to be crowd-pleasing. This is by design. So Marwan Amirkhani is going to have to pull an upset to win, and I don't think that's going to happen. Jack Shore is too clean, too crisp. He's well-rounded. I can almost say he's a complete fighter. I'm not 100% sold on his ground game, but he is good enough to defend against takedowns, to work against the cage, get himself off the cage, and get back to striking. He's good enough to do that. That's why he was a Cage Warrior champion, and that's why he will win yet again on Saturday.
Yeah. Now, apparently, I got some info on Tim Chiu or Timofey Konstantovich.
And who's this?
Australian, a professional boxer. Now I know why McMack is got his.
He's a boxer,
right?
Oh, so there's boxing this weekend?
Yeah, he's the. I mean, he's talking shit to.
Who's he fighting? Who's he fighting?
I don't know, but he talks shit to Charlo, so I know that.
Oh, yeah. One of the twins.
And then Tim knocks out Tony Harrison to become boxing world champion. That was 4 days ago, and that happened in Sydney. So again,
Australia.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go. Okay. And it's also his birthday, so.
Every day is your birthday.
McMack. So happy birthday, McMack. We love all 1,082 years of you. May you reign forever and ever and ever and ever, like fucking Terry Funk says. Forever and ever and ever. Fuck yes. You've seen that promo, right? Terry Funk, all bloody, with Dory in the background. Forever. Forever. Man, I love fucking Terry Funk.
Me too.
Hell yes.
Those barbed wire matches were awesome.
Shit, you watch him
in Jack. Sick.
Watch him in the 70s, fucking wrestling the shit out of, dude, Funks and Briscoes, man. Those
were hot wrestling.
Too. Fuck yes. Yep. Yes, yep. And he won the world title. So, hell yes. Shout out to Timofey, which, I mean, that's kind of the Fijian way of spelling shit, too. Timofey, not Timothy. It's either Timofey or Timothy. I've got a couple uncles named Timothy, so I'm just saying.
I'll keep an eye out for that fella.
Not to be confused with Bodhi. You know what Bodhi is in Fijian?
No, what's that?
Uncircumcised penis. And we're moving on. We've got the Georgian Roman Dolidze. Wait, the fuck? Do you know what Roman's fight nickname is?
Dolidze. I remember this guy.
No, just don't look at it. Just give me what do you think it would be?
I have no idea, man. I know he's European.
The Caucasian.
Oh, great. Like we didn't know that. Well, he's gonna be fighting another Caucasian. Hey, where do they find these guys, man? Like he'll never be famous.
He's a Caucasian he was born in Georgia, but
he's got some good wins though.
My brain is like all over this thing, right? So his name is Roman, like Reigns, right? Dolidze, which is too close to. You remember Rachel Dolezal, the chick that worked for NAACP, and she was Caucasian.
Oh yeah, right? I remember her. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I remember her.
And then so Roman Reigns, Rachel Dolezal, he's Caucasian, born in Georgia, but not the southern Georgia, the country of Georgia.
Right.
And he's fighting out of Odessa, not Texas, but Ukraine. My fucking head is all over the place. I don't know what I'm just confused. Just fucking confused.
That's why he has to let you know he's Caucasian.
At the very least, man. It
makes sense now.
If you didn't realize it before, shit me. Roman will tell you, fuck yeah. He ain't no Dozal, he's Dolize. Fuck. Get it right or fucking pay the price. Anywho, let's look. He's got some good wins, right? Laureano Stopoli, and then Kyle Dawkins. He beat Kyle Dawkins. That fucking knee in the clinch. I remember that shit. Hell yes. That was awesome. And then he right hook Phil Hawes, right? And then beat the shit out of the Joker Jack Hermanson. So fuck, that's a hell of a record. I mean, if you're gonna have a record, Roman Dozal's got a motherfucker for you. And it's all Caucasian, so just in case. But he's going up against the Italian Dream, Marvin Vittori, 18-5-1, former UFC title contender, right? And apparently he's training at Extreme Couture, not so much
at Kings.
Place.
No more Kings?
Yeah, no more Kings. So I don't know what happened there, but it definitely happened. Obviously, the loss to Israel Adesanya, the loss to Robert Whittaker, that just happened in September last year, right? Kevin Holland beat Jack Hermanson, beat Carl Robertson, right? Okay, so one thing that I realized when I was watching, I believe it was either Embedded or the UFC countdown.
What?
Do you know what I realized about Marvin Vittori?
What?
I don't know shit about him. I can't remember a promo. I can't remember a fucking backstory. I don't know, other than the fact that he's just Italian. I don't know why he gets the Italian Dream moniker. Fuck, I can't even remember any of Marvin's fights. And this is a former UFC title contender.
I remember they used to call him an org.
Huh?
I remember they used to call him an org.
Yeah.
From Lords of the Ring, the orgs.
Oh, I thought it was the Will Smith movie, Dark or Light or whatever, the Netflix one.
Oh, same thing, huh?
I guess. I don't. Unless it wrestles or does MMA, I don't really. Classic rock.
The bottom line is he is not a top of the line striker. He is a good grappler. He can mix it up really well.
Anything, and this is nothing. No disrespect to Marvin Vittori, right? But UFC, Dana White is the first to tell you, right? It's a fucking business, right? What is going to make you root for fucking Marvin Vittori if you're not from Italy? Your neighbors in France, just barely fucking legalized MMA not too long ago, right? So what does Marvin Vittori have to offer? And if he fights good, cool. Let's look at his
shooting
record.
For his life.
What was his last finish? When was his last finish? Oh yeah, 2020.
He's gonna be shooting for his life.
He went to a unanimous decision with Kevin Holland. And no disrespect to fucking Kevin Holland, but a fucking decision victory over Hermanson, a decision victory over Kevin Holland, right? Doesn't necessarily get you a fucking title fight, but it did in the case of Vittori, right?
That's because Izzy wanted that fight. He kept talking smack, so Izzy was like, "You know what? Let's get it."
I can't even remember that. That's the crazy thing. So I'm just saying, I'm picking against Vittori because I don't know shit about. There's nothing about Vittori that makes me compelled.
The Caucasian is just a better fighter. Period.
He's
a better fighter.
They both are. So
Caucasian. Caucasian.
I'd rather go from Roman Reigns, Rachel Dolezal, from Georgia, Caucasian, but also from Odessa, that's not Texas. I'm just saying. At least I can think about all those misgivings versus what the fuck Vittori is. You know,
Roman's
so,
moving up. I got Roman on this one, man.
hell yes.
He's
So
too smooth.
okay, actually I like this one. 9-0 Casey O'Neill, not to be
And I got
confused.
Casey O'Neill.
The one from the is she the sister of the chick from Ninja Turtles?
Yeah, Casey Jones was the
That's Casey
guy with the
Jones and
mask.
April
The one
O'Neil.
with the mask. Yeah, April O'Neil.
April O'Neil.
I didn't they get married or something like that?
Yeah, I think her and
Mm-hmm.
Michelangelo. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like, yeah. But I mean, she's going up against Jennifer Maya. Jennifer
Mm-hmm.
Maya, man, she is actually one of my favorites, right?
Yeah,
Her record,
yeah.
her record doesn't say too much, right? But
Mm.
she's been in there with some of the best
Yeah,
to ever do it,
yeah, true. That's
right?
true.
So
Yeah, I
I
agree.
gotta give, and she does have fucking power in her hands. When she lets those motherfuckers go, shit, you know. Um, but the last KO victory that she had was against Marta Sosa at Samurai FC back in 2015. That is 8 years ago for those who
Yeah,
count, right?
yeah.
I definitely just like Jennifer Maya for what she stands for, but I feel
Mm-hmm.
like Casey O'Neill is going to beat the brakes off of her.
Casey O'Neill's mean, man. She's
Yeah,
she's
she
the
is.
what? She's what, Scottish or something like that. And and for someone to come from that part of town, her grappling is ridiculous. Her striking is ridiculous. She's just mean with it. She's mean with it. She comes to slice you up. If she will look forward to cutting up Maya with these. You know what I mean? She is that kind of person. She has no fear of opposition. It's full steam ahead. She also has the ability to weaponize cardio, and she strikes really well. Maya has no escape, no point of escape anywhere in the match. The reach advantage also goes to Casey. It's going to be a long 15 minutes for Jennifer Maya. I believe she gets stopped in the third. She will be stopped. Casey O'Neill, victorious. 10-0.
Hell yes. Fuck yes. Um, yeah, I was actually about to send you that Marina Shafir promo because I don't want to forget it. But speaking of things that we might not forget, um, Gunnar Nelson doesn't want us to forget about him. No, 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 no. Don't you forget about Gunnar Nelson, right? And he's not related to any of those motherfuckers named the Nelsons that used to play music. Those twins from the 80s that used to play music, or Ricky and Ozzy and Harriet Nelson. Nobody gives a shit about them either. 18-5 is Gunnar Nelson, and he's going against Bam Bam Brian Barberena, which 18-9 is Bam Bam. This one is going to be a fucking good ass slobber knocker, in the words of
Yes.
Jim Ross, the immortal Jim Ross.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I got Bam Bam on this shit. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
everything that I said about Vittori, you
Mm-hmm.
could apply it right for fucking Gunnar Nelson. I mean, Gunnar Nelson, his claim to fame is essentially training with the guy who thought he had the answer to fucking John Jones, but didn't. Right? Alexander Gustafsson, right? Calls himself the Mauler, but got fucking mauled. He got caught in the bear trap as the fucking bear is mauling him. That bear means John Jones. That he's the cocaine bear. So I got Bam Bam. I got Bam Bam Barberena.
uh, that's not a bad pick at all, my brother. That's not a bad pick at all because Bam Bam brings the heat. Gunner Gunner's good. He's a good classical striker. He reminds me of a karate fighter. He's very technical, but Bam Bam's gonna be in his face, smothering him, and Gunner will have to resort to going for the takedown, and I'm just not sure if he's gonna be successful. It's gonna be a long 15 minutes. It's gonna be a battle. Barberina is just a he's one of them roughnecks, one of them country boys. He reminds me of a country boy that's with that flag and coming through whooping ass. That's what I remember. That's what he reminds me of. I'm also gonna go with the American on this one, America. America for the victory at the 170-pound division welterweight. I'm going for America. Brian Barberino. Split
What
decision.
we're trying to say is, in the words of Team America World Police, America, fuck yeah. There you go. There you go. Right in the bowels of fucking, what is it? London, England. We're gonna say America, fuck yeah. Oh yes, that's what we do. So, speaking of things that we do, we're moving up. We're moving on up to the east side. We've got the co-main events of the evening. We've got the
Yes.
7-1 Rafael Fizaev going up against the highlights Justin Gaethje, former World Series of Fight world champion, former UFC interim world champion, 23-4 is Justin Gaethje. I mean, I don't got too much to say about this, other than the fact that I think Fizaev is going to beat the brakes off of Gaethje, and it's not because Gaethje isn't skilled. It's not because Gaethje isn't a fucking world-class wrestler, because he is, but it ignores none of it. He'd rather fucking get into a firefight. You're not going to want to fucking get into a firefight with Fizaev. He's going to fizz the fuck out of your, internal brain matter, goddamn. Yeah, so Gaethje's going to want to engage, and Fizaev is just going to fucking knock that chin. And we're going to call Gaethje. He's going to be in that same list as Darren Till. Like fucking two fucking CTE to know which way is up. Fucking talking that Luke Rockhold shit and be like, yeah, I bet I can beat fucking Polton. Like, what the fuck? Did you see that?
Yeah. I saw that.
Like, you're barely going to beat Mike Perry. Barely.
CTE is a bitch.
I'm just, man, CTE is a motherfucker, and I'm a Luke Rocco fan. I'm not mad at it, but and I love confidence, but there's confidence and delusional, right? That's like fucking Diego Sanchez. It's like, I'm gonna fucking be a world champion one day. That day never came. In any sport, grappling,
shit happens.
bare knuckle, UFC, getting it beat the shit out of by Josh Fabia, none of it. And world champion, nothing. So I'm just saying. So I think fucking Gaethje is gonna end himself. Oh, I didn't mean to say that, ending himself in CTE, but I'm just saying. Let's just call it a day, Justin. I'm just saying.
There's only one way for Justin to win this match. He's outclassed in the striking department. If he initiates wrestling, then actually two ways. If he initiates wrestling and he gets the takedown, he will control the matter and ground and pound really good. But I don't feel he is that type of guy, which leads me to the previous way that I was talking about. Justin is going to have to apply a lot of pressure, make Fizaev fight, make him fight, put him on his heels. He's going to have to take a lot of shots. He's got to take a lot of shots because Fizaev has a tendency to fade in the second and third round. He starts to get tired. If Justin can weaponize that cardio, which he has the ability to, he can win in the third round. He can get a stoppage. I believe he can get a stoppage. But will he stick to the plan? Will he be able to take the shots of Rafael and keep coming? He has to be able to keep coming and make it into the third round. If Justin can make it into the third round, there's a strong possibility he can steal victory. Strong possibility he can even get a finish. But I just don't see that happening. I also will be going with Rafael Fizaev because he is too dynamic in striking. His wrestling defense is good enough for him to remain on his feet. It's adequate. Justin, will he be able to get the shot in? I don't know. But even though Fizaev has a tendency to get tired, I'm still going with him simply because Justin Gaethje's striking is not. He's not skilled. Fizaev can easily move out of the way of his shots, you know, because they're very basic and simple. But when they hit, they destroy. That's the problem with Justin Gaethje. If he kicks you, you're gonna feel it. If he punches you, you're gonna feel it. He comes to break you. He comes to hurt you. He comes to destroy you. But Fizaev, his movement is good enough. So the question is, will he last for 15 minutes at a high level? I'm not sure. But I'm still going with him. I'm still going with Rafael Fizaev all day, every day.
I will, and I don't think it's premature, but I'm going to give Justin Gaethje an award.
Okay. What's that?
I mean, we're in award season, you know. Homeboy from what is it? Everything, everywhere, and all that shit. You know, that was also in The Goonies. That was also in Indiana Jones. He just won a fucking Oscar, so I'm feeling fucking festive.
Oh, the little dude.
I think I'm going to give an award. Do you
Okay.
know what award I'm going to give Justin Gaethje?
What?
The Chuck Liddell Award, in the sense that arguably some of the greatest wrestlers to come out of the respective regions to never do fuck all with it and just get fucking CTE'd all the way throughout their career. Go to the highest of highs and lowest of lows. You know? What are we going to see in 5 years? Like a robotic form, like a cryogenically fucking frozen Gaethje going up against fucking like a rotund fucking Habib. You talk about I want that rematch, like fucking Chuck did Tito and shit like that. So I'm just saying that's what we're gonna get in 5 years, assuming it's not robots. But that's what I'm saying. It's just like it didn't end well for Chuck. I don't think it's gonna end well for that guy. Gaethje. Yeah, there you go. So sorry, highlight. And I'm a fan, but you also got to be a fucking person and shit and live a good quality of life after you hang out with the gloves. That's it. I mean, this is a guy who fucking threw the damn title fucking down. Just why are you working? Why are you working this hard?
It wasn't the real one, he said. He said it wasn't the real one. He wants the real one.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Has he gotten any closer to the real one? He got close and got wrestle fucked in Abu Dhabi.
No cigar.
So I'm just saying. You take that fucking, it didn't hurt fucking Tony Ferguson. Again, another one of those, fucking elite wrestlers that just want to get into firefights. But, it is what it is. And CTE, but that's another story for another day. But you know what's another story? The story being told in the main events of the evening. We have former UFC champion, welterweight champion, Kamaru, the Nigerian Nightmare, Usman, 20-2. This dude has literally lost 2 times in his professional career. That's amazing. But he's also amazing is the current champ, 20-3, Leon Rocky Edwards, right? I mean, obviously, this is the second time they fought, right?
Third. This is going to be the third.
Oh, so even third, right? So there's watch the 2 fights that they've had before, and I think the both of them are going to be the best, right? The best that they've ever been, all right? And then I'm also taking into account some intangibles, right? We listen to Usman on Rogan, right? The week after he lost the title, right? And how calm it is, and him saying it was a relief that he lost the title because it was so much pressure, and it reminded me a bit of Eddie Guerrero, right? When he needed the title taken off him, he was like, "It's just too much." Of course, this is what I've worked for, right? And allegedly, supposedly, nobody's trying to get sued, But the weekend that he died, because they were about to go overseas for a tour, he was supposed to get the title back, right? So it is what it is, right? But there's a calmness, right, in Usman that's amazing, right? That he's okay with losing the title. Sometimes, what is that adage about? You know, if you let something go and it comes back to you, it's fucking yours to go. And I think that's his relationship with the UFC Worldweight title, right? And yes, I'm also taking into account that Rocky, Leon Edwards, is arguably, what is it? Well, the first Jamaican, what is it? The first Jamaican origin fighter, right? To become UFC champion. He grew up for the most part in the UK, in England, right? They are in London. I mean, arguably, you could have put anybody against fucking Leon Edwards in a highlight, whatever, and that shit's gonna sell out, right? And this is Leon fucking avenging the fucking embarrassment that he had the last time he fought in London because he beat his opponent on that night and then got into a scuffle with Jorge Masvidal, launching fucking Masvidal's career, not his, and then has to wait 2 years before his title shot because of COVID restrictions and shit like that. Jesus, that's a lot of fucking pressure. And I think that Leon is one to fucking take it all in, but the calmness of Usman, I feel is the underlying current of the story, right? That's the uncertain tangible that we have, right? We don't know what it is, but we know it's something, right? And that untangible is something that might will him against the feverish UK crowd on Saturday night, right? It's that inner strength. It's that inner what have you. But also, Leon is making the most of it, man. Showed up in Wales at the WWE Clash at the Castle. He's doing media appearances. Good for him. But you remember how I said I'm never picking against Usman again? Here we go. So I got Kamaru D. Usman for the win.
Yeah. It's been an interesting career for both gentlemen. They are quite accomplished. They both took the hard road to the title. They both are reigning defending in their own rights. And now, like you said earlier, somebody must lose. This is the rubber match, the third fight. The first fight was won by Usman many years ago. And since Leon has been undefeated and he remains undefeated from the last time he lost to Usman. Now, Usman has lost to him, cutting Usman's undefeated streak, cutting it in half and chopping it up. Now, this is it. Like Michael Jackson, this is it. Clearly, I took a look at Usman and it did bother him. The fact that he got knocked the fuck out, it bothered him. And it's still in the back of his mind. You can see it. You can see it in his eyes, Man, Leon knows it. Leon can see it too. Fighters can see it. He knows he's got the edge, He's got the edge. Leon has the edge, but Usman just needs to stick to basics. If Usman can stick to basics and not be overzealous, trying to show his hands. He doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. We know you can box, man. We saw you knock the Street Jesus, Street Judas. We saw you knock him clean out, completely out. We saw it. So there is no need to try and impress anyone. If Usman goes out there and does what he knows how to do, which is put out a complete product, a complete MMA performance, he will win. He will win all the rounds. He's got the cardio. He's got the know-how. He's got the wrestling, which is the ultimate weapon in mixed martial arts today. Though Leon Edwards has improved his wrestling is phenomenal now. But there is only one champion, and that's Usman, if he really wants it that bad. So I also will go with Usman. I went with Usman last time. There's no way I'm jumping off the ship and going with the current champ. You know, I believe Usman slipped up. He was on his way to winning last time. If he keeps his hand up this time, that kick doesn't land and he wins unanimously. It's going to be a unanimous decision victory for Usman.
Yeah, I can't agree with you more. He just the composure. That's the word that I'm looking for. Um, and not just. I think it might backfire on him, right? In Edwards, right? The
Mm-hmm.
same way that Texas kind of, Houston kind of backfired on Derek Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it. And how many times in the last 3 years that we've been doing this show did I
Mm-hmm.
fucking pick against Usman? And I
Mm-hmm.
thought these are
Mm-hmm.
insurmountable odds. His
Mm-hmm.
fucking knees are fucked. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the first time he was on Rogan, he bored me to death. I could only do like 12 minutes of it, and I was out and never gone back. But I listened to the last time he was on Rogan all the way through,
Mm-hmm.
and I felt something. Now,
Mm-hmm.
are we gonna fucking be bosom buddies or whatever? I don't think. There's some people that are just synergistically just off, and I feel like that's me and Kamaru, right? But what he is as a champion, right? What is that? Is it the champion that makes the belt, or the belt makes the champion? With
Mm-hmm.
Kamaru and Usman, he makes the fucking belts. And you got to remember, what is this belt? Oh, that's a fucking GSP belt.
Mm-hmm.
Like, think about that.
Mm-hmm.
And we're getting comparison. Of course, a lot of people are saying after his last performance, John, and heavyweight title win, John Jones is the greatest of all time, and what have you. But to me, right, especially when you're taking into account the great George Rush St. Pierre, right? Kamaru Usman is nipping at his heels in terms of stating his claim for a place higher than even GSP at this
Mm-hmm.
run. And I think
Mm-hmm.
if you're going to start that
Mm-hmm.
campaign starts Saturday
Mm-hmm.
in London, England, against
Mm-hmm.
what is now the incumbent champ in
Mm-hmm.
Edwards. So
Rocky.
yeah, man, I can't wait to see it. Just
Me
an
too.
honorable mention.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you were talking about Casey O'Neill being fucking nasty. Just
Mm-hmm.
fucking Invicta. Everybody, I've said long, so, like till I'm blue in the face. At Invicta FC is my favorite fucking promotion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, before UFC even fucking try to have a women's division, the days where fucking Dana White was all like, "Oh, we'll never have women in the UFC." Invicta and Strikeforce were fucking putting it down, and so many other regional promotions, King of the Cage, like that's it. But
Mm-hmm.
Invicta, they just had their fucking last show yesterday, and it's live on
Mm-hmm.
free on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
There's this chick out of Ireland.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh my fucking god! Did you see it?
Amazing story. Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah,
I
it's
actually I didn't see the fight. I saw the post interview.
man. She
She
was
was
like,
impressive.
dude, she was like, oh, her opponent was, trying to take her down, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she was against the cage, and she told the
Mm-hmm.
fucking ref, like, oh, my bra's fucking coming off. And then the ref was like, hey, and she fucking nails homegirl. Like, I haven't seen a fucking, like, women fight that, like, fucking dirty and gritty since what's her name? The fucking Iron Lady against Holly Holm for
Mm.
the 145 title. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
who gave up the fucking title because she didn't want to face Cyborg.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
remember.
yeah.
I remember
That
her.
and you remember all the fucking cheap shots that went
Jermaine
into the
Durandamy.
Durandame. Yeah,
Mhm.
you remember all the fucking cheap shots and shit like
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
That
Mhm.
the home. God, I gotta remember her name. What's her name? Invicta. It's an honorable mention, but she's like,
Mhm.
I think her name is like Mama B. Her nickname. Uh, the Jesus Christ.
She was all
Invicta.
mangled too.
Yeah, that was that was Machado. All right, that Machado fight was Shauna Bannon,
Yes,
who's
that's her.
undefeated
Yeah.
at 5-0. And she
Mm.
beat a fucking Finnish chick, man.
Mm.
That's man. Watch that fight.
I
I'll
will.
tweet it. I'll fucking
Okay.
tweet it. I sent it to Voodoo. Anywhere you follow me, right? Aside from the Instagram, because again, show fucking full on links and whatever. But just follow my social medias. Watch Shauna fucking Bama. Jesus Christ. She fucking they fucking touch gloves around and she fucking what?
Mhm.
She was fucking nasty and fucking
Mhm.
just side kicking the shit out of this Finnish chick. And then the main
Mhm.
event, oh man, I don't want to give it. I don't want to give it away. I won't. But the
Mhm.
fucking fight, Danny McCormick against Vanessa Veleska
Mhm.
Machado, that was a motherfucker too. And again,
I'm gonna
I'm
check
not
it
giving
out.
away the finish. I'm
I'm
not
gonna
giving
check
away
it
the
out.
fucking footage. Yeah,
Mhm.
but check that shit out. That was again, Invicta is my favorite uh promotion because even after such household names as Ronda Rousey, Chris Cyborg, Jermaine Durandamy, you go down, the lists, right? Flyweight, bantamweight, Kovalkiewicz, fucking uh, Shevchenko, all of these great women's fighters, right? But still, there's a chip on female MMA fighters' shoulder. They don't
Mhm.
get the respect
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
the men were. They're in many ways the same place that the UFC men's division was in probably 93, 94, right? So it's just the finish rate in Invicta. Fucking do MMA math all you fucking want. It's gonna
Mhm.
line up. The finish rate is that much higher than even in the UFC. So again, but check out those fucking fights. All the fights, but again, that's Shauna Bannon against the fucking Shauna Bannon. It's just not O'Bannon. I guess she's Irish. I wanted to put an O with the apostrophe. But Shauna Bannon
Mhm.
against the fucking Finnish chick and
Mhm.
the fucking headline title fight, that's a motherfucker. So
Mhm.
just saying that's my recommendations. But what I want to recommend is you guys go ahead and follow Voodoo. Voodoo, where can
That's
they find
right.
you on the socials?
Damn. Voodoo Maxim is everywhere. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook page, Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Those are my four main things right there. You can find me there. Pop a follow, you know what I'm saying? And then song, we can get it in.
Hell yes, and I got a few things going on. Um, Literally, according to Woods, across the board, you could put it in the Google machine, or you could go to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and you could find the Principal Podcast, also
Mm-hmm.
simulcast, just as this show is on the great bodyslam.net. And we'd like to thank all of our partners at bodyslam.net. You guys are amazing. So shout out to you and the good brother Cassidy Haynes, who runs the whole shit together. So, Cassidy, you're amazing. But also, hey, on Instagram, I had a couple memes go viral. It's a motherfucker. It's a motherfucker. It's the Power Ranger one, and that shit is almost at 200,000 fucking views. I don't understand it. Help me understand it. Is yeah, that's it. But you guys are awesome. Thank you guys for joining us. You guys be awesome. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you more with more voodoo in the woods.